back when Jay-Z first started Tidal a couple of years ago, a lot of people thought he was crazy. It was like, man, Jay, why don't you just join the other streaming giants and do a partnership deal with him? And then he and his partners, they said, no, we're going to go out on our own thing. This streaming platform is going to be for us. This is going to be our thing. Tidal. The crazy thing about Tidal, when you think about it, the whole platform was built on giving more to the artists, more royalties, exclusive platform for videos and concert streaming, and independent artists having a true platform to deliver their content to, and people find them, podcasts, journalistic information that you can find, just the freedom to be able to watch uncensored content that you won't find on TV, because traditional programming would be afraid of the message, but not Roc Nation, not Jay-Z's team. Tidal is that voice. Tidal is the eyes that display the vision for everybody to see. And that's the great thing about the platform. So when you think about Tidal as a whole in the streaming service, it really is a one-of-one when you look at everything. High fidelity sound. When you subscribe to Tidal and you get their high fidelity sound platform, the quality that comes through your headphones is crazy. Crystal clear. Lossless sound means you don't lose any sound quality at all. The way their videos look on your phone is different. Clear, crisp. The way you can minimize a video and then go search for the content and still see the video playing, I think that's like super cool. But most importantly, the curated video playlist, the curated song playlist, the way that Tidal has integrated celebrities and their messages into the music platform is beautiful. You don't see other streaming platforms really doing that from a culture way, in the form of hip hop and what we consider our music, our culture, a multi-billion-dollar industry. We believe Tidal does that extremely well. People, listen, go to Tidal.com, Tidal.com. Just try out the trial, see for yourself. And I guarantee you, a concert, a playlist, a video, you're going to discover dope movies, shout to Tales, shout to a lot of other movie platforms on the network that you're going to be intrigued by. And most importantly, there's a message within Tidal that you need to hear. Go to Tidal.com, people. Back to our scheduled programming. Always dream, hustle, win. Always better yourself. And most importantly, people, it's about results and nohype.com. Peace.
People, this is Jonathan right now coming to you live with the $1 Million Mindset podcast. Let me explain to everybody why the $1 Million Mindset podcast is so important to the culture of not just podcasting or broadcasting, but just to humanity. Because we wanted to speak to people who were pushing the culture forward in life, in entertainment, in business, nonprofit. They have a particular mindset and blueprint that they follow to success that is unique, unconventional, and they do not, and it does not include any type of shortcuts. They embody the essence of hustling, not making excuses, and living your dream without compromising your values or your principles. I've interviewed everybody from Malik Yoba to Joseph Sikora on Power. And I never take for granted these moments of interviewing these amazing people. We all come from different walks of life. We all have different backgrounds. We all have things that make us who we are. And today I'm speaking to a gentleman, to a king that has such an amazing transformation in life, from mentally, psychologically, from weight loss to Hollywood. What he's accomplished in a short period of time will blow you away. I'm honored, and I mean super honored today to be speaking with my brother, Marcus Taylor, on the $1 Million Mindset podcast. Marcus, welcome to the podcast, my guy.
Thanks for having me, man. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, listen, you know I had to give you that Diddy intro, man.
I appreciate it. Appreciate
No doubt about it, man. It's almost like a boxing match.
Yeah.
There
Let's
we
get
go.
ready to rumble. Let's rumble. Yeah.
I know you got a martial arts background, so I know you can appreciate that.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Yes.
Listen, I want to jump right into it. Before we jump into the Hollywood, career of yours and everything else, all the sexiness, I want to go into this. You made a huge transformation from losing, over 100 pounds and then getting to where you are now. I want you to tell me this. When you stare into the mirror and it's just you, nobody else, do you still see images of that person?
I can say now, at this point, I don't. It always wasn't like that because I've always had fluctuation with weight. I always had a weight issue. I couldn't wait to eat, and it falls from depression and anxiety. I use food to cope my whole life, but when you get a little older and you live more and you deal with certain things, you have to realize something that's most important. You want to live. And I made a decision to submit myself to a healthy eating, exercising lifestyle. And it changed my entire life, my outlook on life, just how I would deal with certain things now. Just through, my daily walk with, trying to be healthy. And I love it. It's changed. I mean, I don't snore anymore. I can get up in the morning without feeling sluggish. I feel incredible. I've never even felt this way before. So yes.
And the reason why I asked that question, Marcus, is because of this. That's such a huge transformation to lose over 200 pounds, to the discipline, the commitment, the ability to look yourself in the mirror at your lowest physical point and then rise up. Yes. That is commendable. People make $1 million careers off of that just from starting their own weight loss ventures because you did something you climbed your Mount Everest, so to speak. And not a lot of people, Mount Everest is considered the tallest mountain. Not everybody can do that. Let me tap into this part before we go into your childhood and your upbringing a little bit. Honestly, describe the first day when you decided to change your life physically. Like, what was it like? Tell me, what were you thinking that day? How did you motivate yourself? How did you tap into that inner beast mode?
Well, that particular day, last year, I remember I was tired of being in the bed all the time in the dark, and I was tired of feeling bad, period, about myself, about my whatever situation I had back then. And I said, okay, I'm ready. Let's do this. And, I started. It wasn't all. It just manifested itself.
Mm-hmm.
First, the first, I would say 2 months was very. It was depressing, but it was also, it motivated me because, I took like a 5-year layoff from exercising and even martial arts training, which that's my first love of anything, and I decided to just persevere and go through it. I couldn't do 4 push-ups.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't do 4. Literally, I couldn't do 4 push-ups. I would get sore after 5 squats, just with my body weight alone, and no cardio at all, no anything, but it was very depressing. But I was like, so what? I don't care anymore. I'm like, I want to get better. I want to get better. I want to be healthy. At the time, I was dealing with, type 2 diabetes at that time. And it's like when you're fed up with being sick, when you realize like I'm sick and I don't want to be and I don't have to be. Nobody should live with pain and discomfort. You should. I mean, I always say you got to be comfortable in uncomfortable situations, but waking up feeling terrible, like physically, emotionally, that's not how to live your life. And I just decided like I'm going to change it. I'm just going to change, and through consistency. I always say weight loss and being healthy is all about consistency. If you can't get motivated, at least you can stay consistent. So that's what there were good days and bad days. On the good days, I felt great and I pushed myself to the limit. On the bad days, I stayed consistent and did what I could. That's like, the thing is, you just got to try it. And just admit to yourself what you need to do. Life is simple. It's just not easy. Some people,
major key.
Yeah. I mean, what to do. You just have to make a decision and do it, or at least attempt to try, and I would say, okay, I don't know if I can, do, 2 miles. Well, I'm going to try a half a mile. And then it became a mile. Then it became more than 2 miles, and push-ups. I couldn't do 4 for a period of time. And then I tried to get 5 in, or do 4, then 5, and then eventually do 10. Now I do 200. So it's like, things like you develop like strength. I would say this, when you use it's like life is like weight training. At first you try it, your muscles are going to be extremely sore, but the more you use them, the easier it gets.
Absolutely.
And that's what I tell myself. And a lot of people have been, hitting me up on social media and DMing me and asking me like, why'd you do it? What did you do? So I was like, well, maybe I should talk about, maybe I should, go into that, because I was a personal trainer for years. And I was like, make this into a nice little business. I'm not trying to, get rich or off it, but I want to help people. But, when I started feeling that I felt successful just from the weight loss and just changing my lifestyle. And it shows when you success shows, and people want to know how to be successful. And the first way to start is by being healthy. And that's it. Yeah.
Totally respect. People right now in the building, we're on the Million Dollar Mindset Podcast, powered by 99.7 The Heat Miami, powered by iHeartRadio. And we're tapping in today with Hollywood actor, martial arts specialist, entrepreneur, and one of the dopest people you ever meet, Marcus Taylor. Let me tap into this part here. Let's go into your childhood, and I just want to make some brief comparisons that you can speak on. How did your childhood prepare you for what you're going through right now?
Wow. Okay. I'll just say I was born in the 70s, raised in the 80s and 90s, and back then, my life, for the most part, between what I can remember till about age 9, was great. And when I turned 9, just things changed. My parents were very successful, hardworking, people. And, they both graduated with their master's degrees, and they had my father was the mayor of our city, and my mother was a school administrator for many years at some of the toughest schools in New Jersey. And, she was a principal and vice principal, so I come from strength, I do have a legacy, but I didn't want to do what they did. I wanted to, train in martial arts, I like listening to opera, and I like to listen to symphony orchestra music at that time. I mean, I still do. And I wanted to do martial arts all the time, and I wanted to pretend all the time, and it was like growing up. I don't know if I was lonely because I didn't have siblings. I had the TV and the VCR, and that became my siblings. So I never was bored because I would pretend to be all these different characters on television. And that was my training. Some people have, theater and, drama classes. I had watching television all those times, and pretending. That's how I learned. And I just applied it when I was ready to apply it. But growing up, it was rough because, like I said, I'm son of a politician. And, so kids, it was tough. I got mugged a lot of times. I got beat up a lot of times. Things that happened to me, that's definitely considered illegal. Yes. And, but it made me tougher. And the martial arts training was really tough. And, but it made me strong when I decided to become, when I was ready to be who I am today. I was 20 years old. Before then, I would be scared all the time. I'd be scared because I didn't want, at that time, I didn't want to get hit. I was afraid of getting hit. The fear was just there. Then there was another fear. What if I win? I might kill the guy. Because we were taught how to kill. I was taught by the best in Plainfield, New Jersey. So I was taught how to, any different scenario, I was taught how to, reply, but I was always scared all the time. Then, you become a certain age and you're like, I'm tired of being scared. And I made the decision not to be. And, when that happened, I would put people in the hospital and I get arrested. So I don't know. Sometimes defending yourself is considered illegal sometimes. I don't know why, but it is what it is. But, and then plus I started competing in martial arts, and first it was, karate and taekwondo tournaments, and then kickboxing, then Muay Thai, and then MMA. So, I was a professional fighter for a while, and, I won a title once, and, it was fun. I enjoyed it, and I had a really good team, but I wasn't fulfilled. And because I always wanted to act, I always wanted to, I love pretending. Even when I was a fighter, like if the knockout came, it came. If it didn't, I didn't care. I just wanted to perform, and I wanted to show people exactly what I can do, and it worked. And ultimately it led me to talk to a stunt coordinator who was one of the, judges of my fights. And, I sent him all the stuff I had on videos of me and that. And then eventually, after some time, I became a stuntman. So I started as a stuntman in movies and television. But I always wanted to be an actor. So, I would get those stunt jobs, but I also started to audition on my own. I didn't have an agent, at that time. And, I just started getting roles, and it's funny. The stunt industry is kind of tricky. It's a lot of everything, a lot of people that are there. It's nepotism. If you're a frat brother, they'll hire you. If your father or your mother, your brother is a coordinator, you'll get a job. It's kind of hard. Sometimes it was hard to get jobs because of that. But I said, I'm going to just work harder and make myself be known. And that's what I did. I would go everywhere, to hustle. We call it hustling, for jobs, for stunt jobs. And while I was doing that, I was still auditioning, and, things just started working out. And, then eventually 2014, I, auditioned for, Straight Outta Compton. And after 3 auditions between, I think 3 months, I found, I got that part, and that changed my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
People, right now we're talking to Marcus Taylor on the Million Dollar Mindset podcast, powered by 99.7 The Heat Miami, officially on iHeartRadio. Let me tap into this part here.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your parents. Briefly describe the influence your mom and dad, or your mom and dad had on you that fueled the path to where you are now.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's real quick. Like my father, he's from Richmond, Virginia, in the 40s and 50s, and, which, it's racism, crazy racism. And, he was in a gang, and then he was so bad, he moved to New Jersey with my aunt, his aunt. And, he just he would excel in everything. I mean, basketball, every sport. And he was, debating team, things of that, leadership. And my mother was always a good student. She was like straight A's. And, my father also was a Vietnam War hero. He got shot 8 times, blown off a bridge, and still killed the enemy. And he got, I think 2 Purple Hearts and some Bronze Stars as well. And like they graduated, college with their master's degrees. My parents are, I guess, the American story. They come from humbleness, and they became very successful at what they did. And they created a legacy for me. And I'm trying to honor them both by doing that.
No, you are, man. And because that's your mission, and that's your plight in life. Yeah. I know that's the passion fuel inside your jet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely. Let me tap into this part here with you as we go along this journey on the Million Dollar Mindset today. Now, I appreciate your honesty. I appreciate all your transparency that you've been given today. Is supremely efficient. Just want to let you know that, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks.
So let me tap into this part here. You played Suge Knight in Straight Outta Compton, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And you played Suge Knight on Surviving Compton, correct?
That is correct. Yes.
All right. When you on the set of Straight Outta Compton, which was, I think the movie did over 150 million today.
Yeah, it was the #1 movie in America for a month.
Yeah, I know it's done 6 figures. I mean, as far as like high 6 figures and like over 100 million. F. Gary Gray, great job. Dre, just all the guys behind the film. Just, I know you can't explain everything.
Yeah.
But kind of give us, in a brief synopsis, like what was the energy like on Straight Outta Compton? Because everything was Straight Outta Compton, man. The T-shirts, the Beats by Dre commercials.
Oh,
it was crazy. The soundtrack was nuts. Talk to me.
Yeah. All right. The only way I can really describe it is I went to the Million Man March back in October 1996.
Absolutely.
And it was like that. And that's the truth. People from all different, backgrounds, black men and women and brown. We were all together. Nothing ever got stolen. Just it was a brotherhood, brother and sister type of vibe. It wasn't any nonsense. It was honesty. And I'm the guys that play my entourage, they're all, bloods. Every one of them was a high blood, like official type cats, you know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
OGs, you know what I'm saying? And they were telling me, things about, some of them spent 10 years, another one spent 14 years inside, prison. And, and then they would give me some advice, and F. Gary Gray, from the first moment I stepped on set, he told me, like, you're not Marcus anymore. You're Suge. So I want you to be Suge on set. I want you to be I want you to be Suge Knight on set. You're not Marcus Taylor anymore.
Right.
You're Suge Knight.
Right.
I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's my mama. If you want to talk to her, you talk to her. If you don't talk to her. And I said, okay. And I was him on that set. And it was crazy. I was only supposed to be there for like 10 days. But yeah, I was only supposed to be there for 10 days.
That's weird. That seemed off a little bit because Suge played a big role.
No. This is what happened. I'm gonna try to be real quick. When I found that out, I was like, okay. I just did what F. Gary Gray said, be Suge. And there was one day, Dr. Dre saw me, and he was with DOC, and he was like, "What's up, Marcus? What's up? What's up?" And I just looked at him, and I said, "What's up? It's a pleasure." And I just kept going. And he got very angry. Very. Dr. Dre got extremely angry. He was not happy. He called a meeting with some producers, and he was just like, "Oh, this dude he can't disrespect me." I mean, he said a lot of other things too, but can't say that. And I was nervous because I found out about that, and I went to F. Gary Gray and I think it was our last scene for the day. And I asked him, I was like, are we done? He said, yeah. I said, okay, listen, I just got this job. I'm scared to death. I did what you told me to do. And he starts laughing, and some of the other guys from NWA were there, and they were laughing. And he was like, you ain't fired. And then somebody else said, dude had a flashback. Ha, 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 ha. And I was like, okay, then. I'm good. Okay. A day later, they written me into the entire film. So I was there for 3 months. Yeah. And it was because of that. It was because I was, I guess, method acting. That's what they say. But they call it method acting when you are that person. So I said at that time, I didn't know what method mean, but if you tell me to be somebody, I'll be that person.
Had to give you that golf clap, man. Had to give you that golf clap.
Yeah, it was, and like I said, that whole time, I mean, Dr. Dre was cool because when he found out, like, oh, Gary Gray told him to do that. All right. And we talked, me and Dre talked, and he's, he was nothing but nice. And
what did Dre say to you when you were talking to him?
Say it again.
What was Dr. Dre saying to you, like, during your conversation?
It's going to change your life, bro. Get ready when this comes out. He said, maintain who you are before you got here.
That's what's up.
Always be you. And I was like, cool. And I remember I met, real quick, John Singleton, when I saw him, he just smiled at me, just gave me this big bear hug. And I was just like, wow, I'm just so happy you're doing this. You're really good. I was like, this is the guy I grew up watching. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow. And Ice Cube, and Ice Cube is extremely serious cat.
Mm-hmm.
He's funny too, but it's fun. Like, guys that serious, you wouldn't think it's funny. He's very funny. He's another one, just get used to just you're going to get work from this. But, just don't let that phase you, and every actor on there was great. Gave me because this was my first big role.
Right.
And, the first scene, I did was the scene where we beat up, Eazy-E in the studio.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I went over the script and the way I said, I guess I have the famous line, you know where the bleep I'm from? This is Bumpton, bleep. And I didn't say that. I said Bumpton. I said, this is Bumpton. And everybody starts laughing at me. You know what I'm saying? Because I said it wrong. So for 5 minutes, some of the guys that were my entourage and Jason Mitchell was like, nah, you guys talk like this. And I picked it up and then, it came out the way it came out. So it was great, man. Friends helping friends, brothers helping brothers. It was great.
Amen to that. That's real right there. I like it. Say it one more time.
Which, brothers helping friends helping friends, brothers helping brothers. We were all family. We were all like one strong nation, with a plan. And that's what it felt like.
Talk to
we were
him.
going to change things. And it was beautiful.
Right.
Got it.
Yeah.
The last 2 years have been crazy. We've had COVID. We've had a historical election, fake voter fraud allegations. We've had marches, George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery. We've had food banks open up, COVID, lockdown, not lockdown. We had so much going on.
Yes,
going into 2023. What is one thing you want to improve about Marcus Taylor?
I want to talk more about mental health awareness. It's very important. I want people to, especially the Black community, to understand. If you're dealing with depression, anxiety, bipolar, you need to say to yourself, "This is what I'm dealing with," and talk to someone. Talk to a professional. A therapist, a psychologist, psychiatrist, go to groups, because we can't be the strong silent type anymore. We're not going to last. I understand, 200 years or 400 years ago, even 50 years ago, we had to be the strong silent type to survive. Now it's time for us to open our mouths and say what's going on. We have to be vulnerable. Like a brother has to be vulnerable to another brother. You know what I'm saying? And I really feel strongly about that. And you can't tell everybody your business, of course, but talk to a licensed professional therapist, psychiatrist, psychologist, a group, because it will help you deal with certain things. And a lot of people people my age, they're still, they can't go to work because they're literally depressed. And they have severe anxiety where they're afraid to go. I said, depression is a disease. It's a chemical imbalance. You can get help for that. Don't be proud. Just admit to yourself what you're dealing with and get help. That's it.
Definitely. Can you give do you have which website or Instagram or social media handles do you want to let everybody know about before we jump out of here?
Oh, okay. I'm on TikTok. It's R Marcus Taylor, all one word. That's what my name is on TikTok, and on Instagram it's I am R Marcus Taylor with the U, not an O. So it's Marcus, not Marcos. People, I don't know where that came from. It's I am R Marcus Taylor on Instagram, and it's R Marcus Taylor on TikTok. Let's talk about it.
Definitely. And what have you enjoyed the most about being on the $1 Million Mindset podcast today, my brother?
Man, talking to you, Jonathan, man, and it's like two brothers talking like, old times. We're discussing events that's going on in the world. This is beautiful, man.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing your story. This is, think about our podcast network, iHeartRadio, we're on Audible, Pandora, Spotify, iTunes, Deezer, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio. If you get a chance, like I said, don't forget, download the iHeartRadio app, pull up our radio station, 99.7 The Heat, DAHEAT, Miami. Please pull up our station, but support the station, rock with it, and subscribe to the $1 Million Mindset podcast. I got dope interviews, a lot of actors and stuff on there. And I thank you for taking the time out to want to share your story. Your story is amazing, it's beautiful, and that's one of the main reasons I'm glad Patience J booked you in here for the interview, man. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for being so transparent, and I can't wait for everybody to hear this worldwide.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Peace.